Oh, Yahweh, open up you my lips, and let my mouth show forth your praise. Kuma, Yahweh, we are put so all your vehicle. We are new to me, so they are coming to me. Kuma, Yahweh, we are put so all your vehicle. We are new to me, so they are coming to me. Arise of you, oh Yahweh. Let your enemies be scattered, and let those that hate thee flee from before thee. Let all of Yahsharel, Israel, when you need some love, worship, and praise Yahweh, give him thanks by saying hallelujah.
All right, family. Shalom, shalom. This is Sister Racheal here with you. I'm like literally sitting outside in the park. I just needed to get out. And so welcome to Into All Truth, Baruch Mishpachah. And so I pray in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that the Ruach HaKodesh will lead you into all truth and show you things to come, that he will speak to you not what anyone else says, but what the Father says. And may the seed of the word be planted in your heart. I pray a hedge of protection around all of us, above, below, behind, in all directions, that we run into the strong tower, which is the word of Yahuwah, which the righteous run into. We thank you that he covers us with his hand, that we stand on the rock that is Yahushua HaMashiach, and that his glory rests upon us. We send warring angels to fight in the heavenlies on our behalf, and we ask that the angels of Yahuwah stand round about us on all sides with a fiery sword, defending against the enemy and any of his lies, silencing the enemy and binding him, casting him into the pit of hell with cords that can never be broken. Yahweh said to me that he would put his words in my mouth. And so I ask that he put also a burning hot coal in my mouth, so that I will speak not of myself, but whatsoever the Ruach HaKodesh says. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen. So family, welcome. Shalom, shalom. I seem to have, some technical issues with my stuff as usual. So I just want to thank everybody. Welcome, Nicole, Bro Starlakadot. Welcome everybody who is watching. So this particular discussion is going to be about prophecy, my calling as a descendant of Israel, a bit of my background, but mostly this is about prophecy. It's been shifting me, changing kind of the things that I've been doing. This may go a little short because my battery's pretty low on my computer, but what I'm really here to do, family, is just to discuss the kind of shifts and changes that I'm going through. I'm going to keep doing these videos because always puts these things on my heart to teach to you guys. It takes a lot of energy to put these teachings together. So you may just see them like once a month, twice a month, the teachings that I did all through the new year, because they really take a lot of work. They're really something that should be done in a month. And one of the things that happened was that I got so burnt out, because good stress is the same as bad stress on your body. Apparently, I didn't believe that, because I just feel like so grateful, even though I'd be burnt out. I was just so grateful for everything that Yah reveals to me and that I was sharing with you guys, but it really took a toll on me. So I'm going to ask you, family, just to pray for me that I be healthy, because I got burnt out. And, so over the summer, I was working on healing my body. And really, it wasn't necessarily teaching online. It's really the hardest thing that burnt me out the most. Really, actually wasn't this work. It was dealing with Yahsharel, because Yahsharel is challenging, man. That's really what took took the challenge, took the punch out of me, basically. So I really see, I don't feel like I was called to be a pastor. I think I'm a leader in terms of a teacher, but I think I'm more so of a teacher and a prophet. And, follow me as I follow Yahusha. I'm not looking for a gathering of people to come and follow me. I'm not looking for that. I've never been like that. I've been in the arts most of my life, but the way that I was raised by my family, by my dad and stuff, he was like, they were kind of like, don't rely on how you look and stuff like that. You have to be smart. When I went to modeling, he was like, he thought that was stupid. So, it's like we were always encouraged to develop different abilities. So I've never been into the vanity aspect of really anything. It's more so been about having a platform to be able to share truth ever since I was very young. So with that being said, let's get into this discussion and a little bit of my history. So there's a number of things I need to deal with. And I think the first thing I have to deal with is that there are various teachers out there, as I've said before, who use my teachings or content, or I'll share a whole bunch of information with them, and then they'll just put it up on their channel and get, thousands and thousands of views and everything. And the scripture is really clear. We're to give credit where credit is due and honor where honor is due. And one of the things that Yah showed to me was, he showed me in 2nd Esdras, that these things are revealed to the prophets of Yah. And I really am so trepidatious about saying I'm a prophet, but I am. A few times I backpedal, then I go forwards, but it's like, that's how Yah works through me. And it's not because of me, it's because the gift he's placed in me. And it's really because of the work that my ancestors have done in faithfulness to him in Yahusha, over these years. And so, family, when someone steals something from my channel, or I impart something to them and they don't give me credit, what's happening is that the work that my ancestors did, like Paul Bogle and the Maroons of Jamaica, the Ashanti tribe, the Levites, these are the prophets who died and were martyred. Like Paul Bogle was martyred. Nanny of the Maroons, a lot of the Maroons suffered a great deal. And you can go all the way back into the Ashanti tribe, and they also suffered. So, and many people died. So when you take, even my mother suffered. She suffered terribly in boarding school. She was really tortured. She was literally tortured. At even my father, at the suffering that my family went through to maintain faithful to the righteous path and the righteous way and to Yahusha. And then that spiritual reservoir or treasure house is then transferred ancestrally along through the line of Judah and Levi. And I'm also Gentile. But that's the side I've chosen, and that's the inheritance that was placed in me. Then what happens is that when someone takes that and doesn't credit it to the work that Yah is doing in me through that ancestry built up in Yahusha HaMashiach that he gifted to me to impart, is that person loses that part of their palace or home in the kingdom of heaven. That brick or stone or cornerstone or retaining wall is pulled out. And whatever they have built up on their channel is credited to me in the kingdom of heaven. That's how it works. And so whatever they have taken from me is demolished. And so the whole side of their house may slam down. Now, and so I have to speak that out in truth, because that's how it works. And that's how it'll work in the kingdom of heaven. And I've been blessed. Shalom, family. And I've been blessed with this, not because of me, but because of Yah is the one who chose me to do these things. And it's not because I'm so great, because I'm constantly talking to you about my flaws. You guys see me fumbling through with the technology. Like I'm always doing good. You guys, I had a friend who used to call me Mrs. Magoo because I'm fumbling through. I mean, Yah literally gave me 2 days before Putin announced war, right? Like their whole position and outlook on challenging the war. He gave me that prophecy to give to you guys about the house being folded up in a piece of fabric. He had given it to me a week beforehand. And Putin about to announce. 2 days later, it happened. He gives me prophecies that come true. And so I'm not a false prophet. I don't like to call myself a prophet, but I think I've got to be, he's kind of moving me into a phase where I have to kind of embrace that more. And so prophesying is prophesying the word of Yah, but it's also prophesying to warn the nations. And you'll notice my numbers have gone down really, really low. And that is not only because YouTube wants their teachers to glean from me. They want to keep me on here because people need to glean from what the Spirit shows me. That's why they keep me on here. Okay? Because Ha-Satan has no Ruach HaKodesh. So he needs those who have the Spirit to give him an idea of where things are going. And then his teachers teach through what they're learning from us. So I'm shown these things, and even with Action for Canada, literally, I warned that woman, and the next day, the Queen's announced dead. I mean, did not a prophet come to you to warn you? I literally warned her. I said, you are being judged. I said, this is not a revival. And I said to her, be careful, because I even said this recently. I said, a worse thing that happened to you. You've got to realize it's time to repent. The next day the Queen dies. Are you kidding me? And this isn't the first time this has happened to me. I was part of a church called Faithful Central years ago. Same thing again. I went to the church. I warned them because they bought a building that was way too big for them. It was a coliseum. They couldn't afford it. I went, and Yah sent me to them to warn them 2 or 3 times, to the point where, like, I would get this terrible spirit of grief. Like, I get hit by terrible grief and mourning, a real heavy spirit about certain things. And we're going to see that Ezra was hit that way too. And that's why I'm going to go through Ezra, because it's my favorite book. He's one of my favorite prophets. Because we're going to talk about prophecy, and I've been reading it for about 4 years. But he hit me with a terrible grief. I went to them and I literally picked up this Colosseum they had bought, and I started crying and saying, Yah is grieved, he's grieved, he's grieved. And I gave them all these warnings. Then I think it was about 1.5 years later, I was still talking to the leader of the children's ministry, because I've been in the children's ministry. And Sister Leroy, and she reached out to me, and I was in a deep sleep. I was dreaming. I had this dream. I was going to Brazil, which to me was Babylon. And I had Bishop Ulmer on one side, and I can't remember, I had someone else, the second pastor on the other side. And I was sitting in the middle, and I was like, I'm riding BITCH like a dog. And I told them I have to get out, and they both had their gowns on backwards. And so I said, I got to get out. And I got out of the vehicle, and then I heard a voice say judgment. I woke up, my prayer partner was calling me to pray. And so we started praying, but I checked online. I had an email, and it was from Sister Leroy, who's over that ministry. And she said the church was just robbed $250,000. Another situation happened where, when I was in Alberta, I was praying with this crazy prayer group. That was Pentecostal. That's a whole other story. But I was praying with them. I had been working on Blackstone and was really concerned about all the things that was happening to the Indigenous people in America. And these were all conservative kind of white people. Now I'm half white, so I can say what I want about white people. And so these people were very conservative and very money-based. And we kept having these discussions, and they always based their faith and their they were prosperity gospel types and Pentecostal. And I said, that's not the right way. And I gave them numerous warnings. And finally I said, you know what, and they were followers of Stephen Harper. And I said, Stephen Harper is wicked. I said, they're causing pancreatic cancer in all of these tribes here in Alberta because of the fracking, and their water is unclean. They're freezing to death in the winter. And I said, if that man, and they insisted that because he was a Christian, he was loved of Yah. I didn't use that name in those days, and I said, no, he's not. I said, Yah is against someone like him because of what he's doing. And I had just said, let's pray for these people. Let's pray. And so we would pray for them and pray for them and pray for them. And finally one day I said, I'm going to pray that the source of this problem be judged. And that is Harper. And that if Yah is against Harper, that he would judge him. And so I prayed with them. I prayed with a bunch of people. And then I went up to Banff and for a pitch event up there and pitched a show. And as I drove back, they said, well, watch out, there's a storm going through Calgary. I drove into a storm going around the ring road of Calgary, drove through a storm. If you listen to my older testimonies, I love storms. And I was like, oh, this storm is amazing. I love storms. I mean, I've lived through tornadoes. The worst tornado in Alberta just went right past me and I just sang in the tornado. Anyway, I like storms. So drove through the storm, worst flood in the history of Calgary. And it flooded out Stephen Harper's riding. I think it was Mount Royal. I have to double check that. And it was like 7 people died, first time in history. And the Bow River flooded for the first time in over 100 years. Then I prayed again for judgment on Fort McMurray because there were so many brothers going up there dealing drugs. I met a lot of them, including a relative, and I'm not going to say who. And so many men were dying of drug overdoses, and the mafia, the Hells Angels, were running rampant. Every week there were people turning up in the water with feet and hands missing and all kinds of stuff. So I prayed judgment. And that was, I think, around 2013 and 2014. And fire came down on Fort McMurray and burnt up all of these houses and everything. So I'm looking at what you've said here, Nicole Marie, and my prayer is that the people who do take my words of prophecy or my teachings, I mean, you guys, how can I have all these teachings? I mean, how can I be the one to say, oh no, the moon is a reflection? I was the first one to say it. They were saying it was a reflection of the underworld, right? Of some other geography. And I'm like, no, like a lot of these things, 144 was an equation that I got, and this other Hebrew helped me figure that out. I have to be clear about that. And I credited him on my other channel. But there's a whole bunch of them that he gave me. There's prophecies I prophesied. So I have one for you guys today. And that, yeah, used me because I'm a lot of stuff I haven't put out there that I see other prophets say. Like there's a woman, her channel's all prophecy, all in detail. She's just so detailed. She's like the daughter of a lawyer or something, or a doctor. My mother was a doctor. This is what you find the Levites doing, is that we're usually related because they take the Levites, the scribes, and they make them into professionals. So artists, musicians, singers, lawyers, doctors, because these are all the functions that we performed in the kingdom, right? And so I was an artist, a writer. My mother was a doctor, a professor, teacher. So these are the things, and my whole family is still doing these things. Everybody in my family is basically functioning as a priest or a king right now. So so that's my lineage. So if you steal from my lineage like that, and then you go and your channel blows up with 50, 100,000 views because of something I advised you to do, and you don't give me credit, and it's not like I want the credit, but it's like, it's just respectful, then, just give, it's not a big deal. Like I kind of let it go, but be scared when I let something go, because I'll warn you as many times as I can. The prophets, most of the time when they come with a prophecy of warning, they don't people usually die. Not very many are saved by the prophet in most cases, if you really look at it. Like if you look at Jeroboam, his son Asa, he was warned by a Levite. He put the Levite in the prison, and he died of a foot disease, Asa, the king. He was a descendant of Absalom on his mother's side. So his mother was a Greek. Absalom's mother was a Greek. Okay, Absalom, who tried to steal the kingdom from David. All right. So he wound up dying with a foot disease. Your feet are holy. You're standing on, Yah said to Moses, take off your shoes because you're standing on hollow ground. Yahusha washed everyone's feet. The woman washed his feet. So when you get a foot disease, you better watch it. That means that your foundation is gone. And what the Testament of Levi says is that if you bless Levi, you will be blessed. But if you curse Levi, you will be destroyed. And so anybody who harms Levi, if you check it in the book, they or their line gets destroyed. So the overarching prophecy is bless Israel and you'll be blessed. So when I'm correcting people, and I'm sorry if I'm harsh, people get hurt and all that kind of stuff. I'm just doing it for the good of people, you know, and especially the men. I think you're a lot stronger than you think you are, you know. So, but anyway, back to these prophecies. So there's more things I can tell you. Like when I was a little girl, my sister and I, we like did a rain dance and it rained. We would take baths with flowers and all these angels would come into the room and sing and talk to us and we would hear them. It was like a symphony. And we just thought, oh, that's just because we're kids. That's kids have the spirit, they're close. But other people weren't hearing them. We were the ones hearing them. So, so yeah, my prayer is though, and I have no problem forgiving it because Yah is like, don't have anger, bitterness, or wrath towards your brothers. I love my brothers, and for my brothers who I reveal these things to and I share them with you, and you may think I'm too harsh, too bad. I still love you anyway, and I still admire you anyway as brothers. But I got to tell you the truth because I want you to be saved, you know. I don't want you leading Israel astray, and then Yah is going to come after you with a whip. All right, he's going to come and give you a big smackdown because you got 100,000 people listening to you. You know, so I'm grateful for all the brothers who support me and interact with me, and if I give correction, you know, I have to. That's what I'm called to do. Not everyone is called to do that. I am. I was called by Yah to do this, and I prefer when the brothers do it because one brother went out and he's been doing he did a correction a couple of weeks ago on the other nations, and hallelujah. So but anyway, let me show you some evidence of this and some of the scriptures that I was given regarding my calling, just so that we can be on one accord with this. Where am I? Okay, so I'm outside in the sun on my desktop and my laptop, and so it may be a little challenging here, but let's just see if I can get it working. And family, I'm sorry if I can't really see so much in the chat. I will look at the chat at a certain point, but you know me, I get a little overwhelmed. So here's one of the things that is said to Ezra, for behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring forth fruit in you, and you shall be glorified through it forever. He's a Levite. Okay, so this is the heritage of the Levites. Now, Yah forbid I could just totally fail and end up somewhere else, you know, but as long as I'm faithful to him, he's going to be faithful to me. And when I sin, I try to confess it and deal with it. And I can be corrected, family. People correct me, I get corrected, you know, this, that, and the third, right? Like I will do it. You guys know that I always bring up my sin because I don't want to be in a place of unrighteousness. But yeah, these are the two recent prophecies, and let me do this slideshow thing so it's prettier for you guys. Yeah, so these are the two recent prophecies. Okay, 2 days later. I mean, I was shocked myself. I didn't even read the article until 6 days later of speech. I was like, so it just shows you, Yah's just keeping me regardless. He keeps me. I don't need to watch the news. He tells me what's going on. Okay. So, and this was the other prophecy. And then, and we're in a time now, family, where Yah says that he will send the world, and Yahsharel in particular, the prophet of Elijah, before the great and dreadful day of Yahuwah comes. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to their fathers, or else I will come and strike the land with a curse. Okay? So this is what's happening now. And, you know, Elijah, prophets were killed through Elijah. Okay? Armies were killed through Elijah. Elijah warned certain people, they died. More often people die in the presence of a prophet than live. Now, my prayer, of course, is I believe in these times that more of Yahsharel is going to live. And so I'm sorry if I hurt people's feelings. I love you, brothers. I do. I honestly do. And I admire you so much. You got to see me like mother and a like big sister or whatever. I am going to smack you. I got to smack you. I'm sorry. If you're leading Israel all the way off back to Egypt, then you're going to turn around to talk to me and I'm going to smack you, because I don't want you to die and I don't want you leading all those people to death. Why? Let's listen to this is the calling that Yah put on my life, just so you can have some understanding. This is what he said to me continually. Okay, over and over and over. He says this constantly all the time since I was in my 30s. The words of Jeremiah, son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yahuwah came in the days of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Yehuda, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, until the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. I didn't even know this, okay? So this is something he's done in me. It's not something I did. And like I told you, my grandfather, who's from the Ashanti tribe, I found out just this year, anointed me when I was 1 as his ganga, his spiritual teacher. This is what my aunt told me. He said that he danced around with me all the time and say, you are my ganga. You are my ganaga. So he anointed me. My father took me when I was 13 and put me in front of Bob Marley the day after my birthday when I was 13, and Bob Marley anointed me. People are like, who anointed you? I'm like, well, somebody asked me that one day, and I was like, I was like, Bob Marley anointed you. I was like, what? And I looked up the date and I was like, oh my goodness, that was the day after my birthday and everything. On my 13th birthday, I was shocked. And then he gave me this other confirmation whenever I ask him, because I am part Gentile as well. So, all right, so here it is. Here it is. So this is not me. This is him. Okay, I can't take credit for this. The gift he's placed in me is him, not me. All right. So I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Yahuwah, my Alua, behold, I cannot speak. I am a child. But Yahuwah said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahuwah said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, and to build, and to plant. So I begin the process in Yahusha when I'm acting right, because I can't take the credit, because when I make a mistake, it's me, you guys. It's thoroughly me. And trust me, Yah has put a thorn in my side. He puts a thorn in me to keep me from being prideful. If you guys see me getting up in pride, trust me, he will be He'll be disciplining me. Takes me to the woodshed. Trust me, he does. All right. So he has put a thorn in my side. Okay, so he disciplines me. Trust. All right. Here's the other prophecy he gave me, and this is from Ezekiel. So the Ruach lifted me up and took me away, and I went in bitterness. Honey, I've got so much bitterness I deal with in grief sometimes. And I'm like, why? It's just so hard. It's hard to deal with, you guys. It's hard. It's so painful. Like, especially anger, like wrath. And he counsels me against the wrath, but he's like, he comes back to this and he's like, I make you angry because I'm angry. You have to feel what I'm feeling. But then I have to put a limit on it. He has to get it more under control. But anyway, then I came to them of the captivity at Tel Aviv and went by the river of Kebar, and I stood where they sat and remained there astonished 7 days. So you get this appalling feeling and astonishment when you're a prophet. That's why after this thing happened with this woman, it was almost a month to do everything on it because I was appalled. And it's what happens. It's how it works. It's overwhelming. And then it came to pass in the end of 7 days that the word of Yahuwah came unto me and said, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Yahsharel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning for me. So I'm sent to warn people. That's my job. Okay. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not a warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But the blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, I will lay a stumbling block before him, and he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness, which he hath done, shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at your hand. However, it goes into, I won't read it, but if I warn an unrighteous man and he repents from his sin, then I'm free from it. So my salvation or my blessings or curses, right? My losses and gains in the kingdom, because I'm saved in Yahusha. I'm not the source of my salvation, nor are my works, but my palace and my blessings and giftings are, right, in the kingdom. So I have a price to pay and I have punishments to endure if I don't obey him. All right. So I just want to make that clear, family. Let me just switch this off for a second because I got to get out of this app and I'm having trouble getting out of it. There we go. So let me just check and see how you guys are doing. All right, let me say hello. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Yaya. Shalom, Kelly Perry. Shalom. Oh, Shine Lighthouse. I have been thinking about you. Shine Lighthouse, email me because I want to talk to you. I just love your comments. And, you know, I really would love you to reach out to me so that we can have a chat because you're just such a nice support. No, the Levites are not Hivites. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. Show me more information. But anyway, family, let me just continue with this. So kind of forgot where I was. I wanted to say hello because I really want to honor you, the people who come in and follow my channel, because, you know, you guys are strong in Yahuwah and you're strong to remain with me because it's challenging. And, you know, when I talk family, sometimes I come across as arrogant. It's a mistake if I do. And oh my gosh, the battery is draining. But I have to be really truthful and honest with you, fam. I do not teach baby Christians or babies because I teach the Kodesh way. I teach you, family, in such a way that you recognize the code and the Ruach agrees with you, and you should not need me as a teacher, because the scripture says when we enter the kingdom, no more will we need to teach one another, saying, right now we're still teaching. All right. So I have a gift of teaching, but I do not teach the Christian way. I don't believe in baby Christians or baby, you know, this, that, and the third. You may be new to this, And there are so many good teachers out there with fundamentals, and I have a lot of good fundamental videos you can watch, but I'm teaching in the present tense. Sometimes I will expound a little on a point for those who don't understand, but I teach as Yah has led me to teach people. And that is in the Yahsharelite way. So I teach the Kodesh way. I teach you by code so that you can see these patterns and begin to understand them in the same way that Yah has revealed to me. And that's my role as a Levite, to disseminate to the teachers, and then for each of the teachers of the tribes to then go forth and teach and simplify to the tribes. Okay, so let's go back to this. Another scripture that Yah gave me was Psalm, where is it now? I think it's Psalm 43, is it? There's Jeremiah. It's the one where Yah says, the king is enthralled with your beauty. And that was another one he gave me. That I guess I'm a kind of I'm the woman, right? I'm the bride. And so, so that was another scripture he gave me to affirm my role. And so I guess, I think it's Psalm 45. I guess that's part of it as well, that I'm moving more so into that. And so I won't be throwing up as many scriptures in front of you. Yeah, Psalm 45. Let the king be enthralled with your beauty. Honor him, for he is your Yahuwah. So will the king desire your beauty. Reverence him. So so I give honor to him, and I'm sorry, family, if I've come across in any way where I haven't seen that way. That's my own sin or weakness, and sometimes, I do struggle with, pride, and that's why Yah has given me a thorn, right? That's why he gave a thorn as well to the apostle Shaul, right? Because when you get these things, so many things of knowledge revealed to you, it can cause pride, and so he has to keep me in check. So I'm a little bit sickly, so and he keeps me like that to keep me humble. So don't worry about me. He keeps me humble, and I always check with my assembly too, and I check with my enemies too, because I know my enemies will throw out a hand to slap me real quick. That's why I check with them. That's the best way to check if you're getting prideful, because your enemy will tell you, or someone who's mad at you, they'll tell you. So, yeah, I think I went into some of these scriptures about me being burnt out, and so I have to teach in a different, more simplified way. Yeah, is like and I'll do these more detailed teachings like once or twice a month, where I'll do all the slides and everything, because I know everybody loves them, and I love doing them. You guys have no idea, I love it too, and I like putting in all the art and doing them like they're a movie, a documentary, and all. I love it, but it's a lot of work, and we're in a different time. Ever since CERN, I'm like, I don't have the same strength. So so we went over some of the things that it looks like I covered most of this. I just wanted to make sure that I did for you guys. And we're going to go into the book of Ezra a little bit. Now, one of the things I also want to say about my lineage is I've been meaning for a very long time to do a video on the boat children of Europe, because my father was one of those boat children. So what Hasatan did was, it seems like he bred a bunch of orphans and sent them forth on orphan trains. And then he actually kidnapped sons and daughters of Japheth and sent them and dispersed them throughout the orphans. So the wheat among the tares, and then Yahsharel was amongst them, and so was the Hamites and everything, this, that, and the third, right? So I've been meaning to do that video for over 2 years. And when I'm doing a testimony to the Gentiles, I'll talk about it more. But my lineage on my dad's side, now my dad is white, but he's O blood type. And yes, I believe in the blood type. The O negative is the fallen angel seed, and the O positive is Japheth. And yeah, Yahsharel is brown, because that is the seed. But a lot of us are mixed, and it's the scripture is very clear that Levi does mix in with the other nations. And I don't think that's just with the Canaanite situation that happens before the return of the second temple, but I believe that it's over time, because Levi are usually, as I said, officials in high places because they're scribes, government officials. We saw that Daniel was a prophet in Babylon, and we see Ezra as well, so on and so forth. So this is very typical of the Levites, that they'll be in and amongst the nations in high places. So let me just find some more for you guys here. And then I'm going to begin the book of 2nd Esdras after this. So let's just see here. I want to go into my lineage. Now, I believe on my dad's side, I am a descendant of William of Orange, who married in with the line of King James. And I say that because our family's the McPhersons, so you can find the McPhersons and the Robinsons. So the Robinsons are Irish, the McPhersons are Scottish, Socotish. And you'll notice, family, just think about it. How did the captivity happen? The captivity went from the north, the northern kingdom, because I say Western Europe is the northern kingdom, right? The northern kingdom, then it went down into Africa. And isn't that the order of the captivities, that the northern kingdom was lost first, and then the southern kingdom? So I believe the Assyrian captivities were there too. But remember, Levi, Ephraim, and Manasseh always, they returned after the rule of Jeroboam when Asa was ruling. It says Simeon, Ephraim, and Manasseh returned amongst Judah and Benjamin, and obviously Levi, and the Levites were reinstated as priests. So that was after the rule of Jeroboam and during the rule of Asa. Okay, during the rule of Asa in the southern kingdom. And he did a Shavuot, and there was Simeon and all that there. So it seems like then Judah took over the whole kingdom. So you see those lines are still in the northern part of the continent and the southern. So when I say the northern part of the continent of Yahsharel, I mean Western Europe, okay? So that was the order of the scattering and the captivities. And so when we look at, so my father, remember the Bible, I don't know if any of you know, but I have a Bible. It's a 175-year-old to 200-year-old Bible, King James original Bible, and it has Ezra in the middle of it. It's one of my favorite books. And hi Amoriah and King Kush. And so that was willed through Lord Wharton and Cromwell to our family, and that's on my dad's side of the family. Now, my dad's side of the family is Williams. And so there was this thing that happened with William of Orange and King James, where one of the sons of William of Orange married King James' daughter. And then there was this big conspiracy where the kingdom was then taken over by William of Orange. So that's in my, I believe, now I can't prove this. I do know my lineage in the sense that I can say, yeah, I'm a Maroon and related to Nanny of the Maroons. And this is through oral history. And then Paul Bogle and stuff, that is all cataloged. My cousin actually sent me the family tree and all that. And that's on the Hebrew side. Okay. Except he doesn't have the Ashanti side because that's on the Bogle side. And the Bogle and McPherson side is related to the Northern Kingdom. Okay, the Britons, the indentured servants sent to Jamaica. And so you see in the books that list the indentured servants, you'll see McPherson in there. So that's my family. And but when I think about my Gentile side of my family, they have the genealogies. My cousin won't give them to me, even though it should have gone to my father because he was the firstborn son, but there were issues in that side of the family. So this is the lineage. I don't have, she just won't send me the genealogy. I keep trying to get my cousin to send it to my niece, and she just like, for some reason, they won't send it. And it has to do with me warning about the bee and other things. And so they got offended about that because she was wrong. She got everyone beat. And I was like, no. And anyway, complicated family stuff. But so here is a photo. Now, this could be completely come up with on the web by who knows who. But this is William of Orange, and this is my dad. Okay. So that's me and my sister and my dad. So you see, he looks very similar to William of Orange, right? And this is William of Orange with King James' daughter married to them. And I think the faces have been altered slightly. Okay. And then, so here's King James. This is like a very whitewashed kind of photo. And this is as well with the Huguenots and everything and all their Protestant stuff. So it's a mixed bag. It's Edomites and Yahsharelites. It's quite a mixed bag, and it's very whitewashed because this queen here was actually black. And of course, King James, that's supposed to be him there. But I don't have this lineage, but I think there's a relationship. And the reason is because this is my brother. Now, my brother's nose actually got pressed down because he's been having to wear a mask in prison for the last 3 years. But so his nose just changed in the last 3 years. His nose wasn't like this. It was more like this. And you see in this picture of him when he was very young. So he looks very much like King James. He looked even more so 3 years ago. He's getting a lot older. He's in his 50s. And then this is Lord Darnley, and he looks identical actually to my poor sister, her son, her youngest son. And then there are pictures of the mother of King James, who actually looks not her jawline, but the top part of her face, very similar to me when I was a child. So like I'm saying, I don't know if these are my family, but because of that regional connection, then I think there might be a relationship. Okay. And it would be also on the William of Orange side, because they had worked with King James to try to help him when he had all this opposition from Guy Fawkes. Okay. And what's his name? Cromwell. So I am not ashamed of that heritage. I choose Israel. I have chosen Israel, and Yah shows me all the time. He says to me, I've made you a prophet. I've chosen you. And so that's what I go with. And the fruit is there. You see it in my teachings. And it's about what he says. It doesn't matter to me what anybody else says. And so these are the scriptures he gave to me. And as well, what he did say is he says to Ezra, and this is one of the reasons why I love the book, my judgment is drawing near. I have not shown this to all men, but only to you and a few like you. And so he says, now, behold, O Yahuwah has now shown me a multitude of signs. Now wilt thou, what thou wilt do in these times, but thou hast not shown me when thou shalt do them. Now, what you see here is that I have not shown this to all men, but only to you and a few like you. Yah shows a lot of this prophetic stuff to his Levites, right? And here he says again in this particular script, and we're going to go through the whole book. Now, therefore, I entreat you, says Ezra to the angel of Yahuwah, to give your servant an explanation of this bewildering vision. Okay. And he answered me, the angel of Yahuwah, and said, listen to me, I will inform you and tell you about the things which you fear, for the Most High has revealed many secrets to you. For he has seen your righteous conduct, that you have sorrowed continually, which I have, for your people, and mourned greatly over Zion. This therefore is the meaning of the vision. So Yah gives these things to his prophets and those who mourn and lament for Israel and those who are descendants of Levi. Okay. So I'm just showing you where this is coming from in me. And there are prophets, I can tell you right now, who are in Israel, who are teachers, who be looking like a whole nother nation, who be looking like Esau, Edom, and everything. And now the word says Esau is the end of the world. He will tell you who he is. There are prophets who are perhaps mixed with Esau, Edom, or mixed with Egyptian, or mixed with Japheth, or whatever, but Yah nonetheless has chosen them because they have the seed of Judah or they have the seed of Israel, and they're teaching and they're blessing Israel. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me what his formula is. I don't know. All I know is the fruit. Okay? The fruits of the teachings that Yah has sent out through me. Now, I've had great teachers, but it's very clear that he reveals much through his prophets. And so has not a prophet visited you? You can see by the stuff that I've taught that Yah reveals this stuff. But and as for my salvation and ultimate walk, I'm going to have to endure till the end. So it's not about me. Once again, it's not about me. It's about Yah and who he chooses. And so I'm not mad at you if you look like Esau. You got this, you look like you're there are teachers out there, they look straight up like this is Esau. There's a particular head shape and everything that he has. Israel is dosy mesophilic or whatever, like this, more so. Or when you get into the full chocolate mode. I've got this friend Ifo who's from West Africa, and I wish I had my granddad's picture here, but I don't have time because my battery's almost dead here, so this is going to end soon. But I'm not mad at people who are mixed with other nations. Okay, just because if you're mixed with Esau, Edom, or if you're mixed with Egyptian, you're mixed. You're not full Israel. My family's done their genetic tests. We have Levi and we have West Africans in Ghana in my family members' genetic test. So we have the Luya tribe, which is Judah, and the Ashanti, and we have Britain and Spain in our genetic line. So it's already been proven with that. But not only that, I know my lineage, and it's in books. All right. And my family members publish books on our family in Jamaica. And I'm prophesied. Do I not prophesy truth to you? Do I not teach to you? So I don't want people hating on me because I'm mixed. I'm proud that I'm mixed because of the faithful things that my father did unto Yahsharel as a Gentile. Okay? And he's perhaps had to redeem whatever happened between William of Orange and King James. I don't know. Something went on there. I don't know. So I'm not hating on anybody who is a Gentile or who is mixed with Ham or mixed with Esau, and you're a teacher or a leader. You got to do you, be you. I'm hating on you when you're saying, go back to Egypt, marry an Egyptian woman. The Egyptians are more Israel than Japheth, when Japheth will dwell in the tents of Shem. Okay? So please, I just don't want anyone leading anyone into error. There's a prophet in this city that I've met, and he's prophesied stuff to me that has come true. He looks completely white, but his dad's black. So this is going to happen in Israel. Yah chooses who he chooses. He will bless who he will bless, and he'll curse who he will curse. And it does not depend on your desire, effort, or ability, because Yah has chosen Jacob. Yah has chosen Yahsharel, he says, not Esau, Edom. But even then, I think he would give grace in that situation. If you're half Israel and you're half Esau, Edom, or you're half Hamite and you're half Israel, and you choose Israel and you serve Israel, I think Yah is faithful to that. Now, you may not be the full seed, right? And we'll see how that all works out in the kingdom. But I'm not hating on anybody who's mixed with Egyptian. It may just show if you're edging towards going back to Egypt and Egyptian women and teaching that and all that stuff, then maybe that's who your mom is or something, or your dad or something. And you just have to go, and you're trying to send everyone back there because you still think that Egyptians are chosen people. I don't know, but they're not. Israel is. And Israel, the men of Israel are not supposed to be messing with those women. It keeps them in captivity. So why would you do that? I have to give correction where correction is required. Okay. So I was going to read from 2nd Ezra, but I'm on red, fam. So I got to wrap it out. I thank you so much for all of your support and encouragement. I may try and get on my phone here. I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can, because I really want to read to you from 2nd Esdras and start this series. If I can't, then, you know, we just got to do what we do. Let's see if I can get on the phone here. If I cut out, family, I love you in Yahuwah. And let me see if I can get on there. Let's see if I can get into the live on my phone. All right. Oh, it's fighting with me. I'm trying, guys. Anyway, I say, Subah Yahuwah. It says your channel. Oh, I'm in the wrong channel, guys. That's why. Hold on one second. But yeah, go ahead and ask some questions, make some comments, and I'll try to respond to them, Mishpachah. I'm sorry if, you know, I struggle with the multitasking sometimes. So I appreciate your love. I really do. So let's see if I can get into this live. Oh, it's not letting me get in. How come I can't get in? So because I want to relate the prophecy to you. So family, if I have to go over to another one here, then that's what I got to do. Let me see. I'm going to try and jump on here. Smiling for a thumbnail. So I'm going to go live. This computer is, oh, no, it seems to be doing okay. It's not fully dead yet. But I'm prepared to jump on in the event that I can't get on. All right, family. So here, that's right, Melvin. Flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven, only the spirit. So it's by the Ruach HaKodesh. So the prophecy that I was given, family, was, as you see in the thumbnail, the moon was on my left side and was surrounded by a halo of cloud, a ring, and then all the sky was dark. And on the right side was the sun behind dark black clouds, and it was obscured. So the moon was lit. That means that's Israel. The moon is Israel. Okay. And then there was a huge combine machine, red combine machine, that was threshing and gathering up the wheat, the tares, really. So this is a warning that the combine machine is coming through to chop, to cut away the tares. And so, and then I got 2 more prophecies and visions. Sometime around the 30th, there were a vision of 2 lights in a circle. Not sure if they were the sun or the moon, but 2 lights surrounded with an eclipse or ring of light around October 30th. And so, those are the prophecies. So we are now, family, entering into this time of testing. We've been in it the whole time, but it's going to get intense. And so that threshing machine is coming through to cut down the enemy, but it's also testing Israel. And that's why so many people, whether they've stretched out their arm for the jab or not, have been cut down and have left us. Because after this testing is when Yahsharel will go return to the land. And so there is this testing period, and then Yah will save all of Yahsharel, and then he will purge the rebels in the land. So these are the stages of deliverance. And so this threshing is coming. And so we have to be right. We have to be prayed up in Yah. And we have to be forgiving of one another. If you feel like I've offended you or I've rebuked you, it's not because I hate you or dislike you. I love you and I honor you. And I love all our men in Israel. And I listen to so many of the male teachers. It's not about that. It's about ensuring the bride is spotless, you know? And so, so family, just be on guard. Now, I was going to start with this reading. What I might have to do is maybe I'll say this. I'll just talk about Second Esdras. Now, Second Esdras is included in the so-called Apocrypha. It was included in the Septuagint. Okay, it is part of the Septuagint, so is the original text. The Masoretic text, which is the King James Bible, was rewritten by Kenaz. I don't know if the original King James actually was the Masoretic. I don't believe it would have been, because who it's written by, right? But Second Esdras is part of the Septuagint. So that means it was translated by Yahsharel and Yehuda in captivity to the Gentiles, because that's what their children were speaking, was the Gentile languages, unable to speak Hebrew. It doesn't mean the Greeks translated it. It means Yahsharel translated it, so that their young ones who were speaking only Greek and not the true language of creation could understand the book and interpret it. Okay, whereas the Masoretic text was translated by the Wishkenazis. Okay, and so we're going to go through the prophecies. Hello, Gwendolyn. Shalom, welcome. We're going to go through the prophecies throughout Ezra. And what I want you to notice, like I said, the computer may just shut off. What I would like you to notice, family, is that when you listen to Ezra's lineage, his lineage is from Zadok, son of righteousness, Ahiah, literally that's the name of the creator for some people, right? Set apart, spirit of Yah. I mean, the names are all prophetic names, his whole lineage. And so this is the important thing to note and understand about the book. And so we're going to look at the prophecies. I'm going to give an interpretation according to my understanding, and I'm going to probably interact with you guys more, so you may want to start to look at it yourselves. And I will show it up on screen as I'm reading through it, and we will begin to understand it that way. Melvin Reed says, for this same purpose, God, Yahuwah raised up Pharaoh to proclaim his name. Yeah, see now, brother, strike that. Ahiah, Ashaya, Asha, Ahiah. So some people call Yah that. And yeah, that's fine. I'm not opposed to those names. But yes, so family, with that being said, I appreciate your donations and support. I really do need them for my channel to continue and for me to have the time to do this work. And I like to offer the calendar or the lifestyle book, Chaya, Eat, Life, and Fast, so that you are able to receive something from me in order to continue in your walk and to get closer to Yahuwah. So that is why you see things. That's why I encourage you to get things like Chaya, Eat, Life, and Fast, okay? And the Hebrew calendar. And yesterday was the last day, according to this Hebrew calendar, of Tabernacles. So that was the 8th day Shabbat. And I was really blessed. I don't know if you were. I'm not opposed to people celebrating other days, other times, because they don't have all the times. I'm learning more about the stars, about the morning star, when it raises in relation to the sun, so I can get more accuracy. I do know that the moon has its place, but it's 10 days too late and too soon, so it doesn't order time. But at certain points, like a dancer, flamenco dancing, counterpointing with the male lead dancer who controls her, every once in a while they line up in sync. And so I believe that's over Jubilees, 7-year cycles. So it's not something to measure time by, because Israel's out of order and into chaos and off. So we can't measure time by something that is out of order and a lesser light. And I go into all the reasons for that. So Mishpachah, let me just show you. So I'm going to stop this share here, and let's see if I can get some of Second Esdras up here to read for you. And if the computer shuts off, it is what it is. Where is it? Here it is. All right. So listen to this lineage. All right, Second Esdras, or the 4th book of Esdras, the 2nd book of the prophet Ezra, son of Siriah, son of Azariah, so leader sown by the head of Yah, son of Hilkiah, son of Shalom, so of peace, son of the set apart leader of light is Hilkiah, son of Zadok, righteousness, son of Ahitub, so son of the leader of the set apart tree of the house, son of, who was the son of Phinehas